So we got running backs to fight over. First up, we'll do me versus Keoni with James Cook.
Round 1, fight.
Do you want to know who had the most rushing yards per carry last season at the running back position? It's Khalil Herbert with 5.7 yards per carry on 129 carries. You want to know who had the same amount? James Cook, 5.7 yards per carry, only 89 carries, but still 5.7 yards per carry. That shows a lot of that he is efficient with the ball, and with a year under his belt in this system and an off season, hearing about his big bro, Dalvin James Cook, I think James Dalvin Cook is poised for a breakout season. Hence the high number for my ranking. I mean, why not really? With his main competition in Devin Singletary being gone off to Houston, he is the number one back on this team. I mean, his biggest adversary for attempts will likely be Josh Allen, but, hopefully he throws the ball more. I don't see why he wouldn't. And I think as the lead back, he can perform better than Singletary did last year, who finished as the RB23. Cook can get 200 carries, and even at 5 yards per carry, which is a far mark from his 5.7, that's a 1,000-yard season. And you throw in 6 to 7 rushing touchdowns, maybe 40 to 50 targets, which is around what Singletary had last year, and a receiving touchdown or two, he could be a solid RB2 in fantasy and in a breakout season. So that's why I have him at RB16. It's the breakout. Year 2, sophomore, star power. Yeah.
Fighting for it. I feel you. 6 to 7 to 8 touchdowns from James Cook would be amazing. 200 carries would be amazing. I just don't see it happening. Finished as an RB44 last season. Yeah, 5.7 yards a carry. Great. Does it happen again? Not a shot. I'm just not in on Cook this year. Like I said, finished as a running back 44. He had 3 weeks. 3 weeks last season of 10 or more fantasy points. Only 3 weeks he scored more than 10 fantasy points. He had, you say 6 to 7 touchdowns, Keoni, this season. He had 16 red zone touches, total touches, and only 1 touchdown. Josh Allen is that red zone back. And if he's not going to get the rushing touchdowns, it's going to be Damian Harris. There's not a shot that James Cook gets in the end zone 8 times. 6, 7, 8. I just don't see it happening. Maybe I'm a little too low at 32. He could definitely bump up. I do think he does fill in that number 1 role, but it's definitely going to be a 1A to a 1B Damian Harris. They went and acquired Damian Harris in the offseason. Bigger guy, runs hard as well. I just don't see him going for 5.7 a carry again. The only reason he did that was he had such a little amount of touches. The more touches he gets, the lower that number comes. And I just don't see the touchdowns going up for him this year either.
So. I like both your guys' points. I think that James Cook is really good, but you got a little generous. You went a little LeBron. 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 6. I was like, oh shit, bro. I mean, Damian Harris and Josh Allen are gonna take a lot of that red zone stuff. But I think James Cook could be very good. So I kind of agree with both you guys there. I have him in the middle. So that was a great argument by both you guys. Ian, who do you think won the fight?
I think JJ had a little bit better of points. The 5.7 yards per carry is the hardest thing to recreate.
Yeah, that's why I gave him 5,
You're right.
Hey, I mean, he's a really good back, and he has a chance to get 5 a carry, but that's only because he's going to touch the ball 130 times, not the 200 that you need him.
I do, but yeah. I do think the passing game where it goes to his side.
Fair.
I think that's also why he had 5.7 last year, is because when he was in, they were more in a passing set. And so, give him a draw.
16 red zone touches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That might
that's
go
what-
down to 0, to be honest.
That's not. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it goes up very
They
much.
signed Latavius Murray and Damon Harris. Like those guys are going to get in the red zone.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to score from at least 10 out. Anytime they're inside the 10, it's going to go to a bigger guy.
He did it twice last year.
But again, I think the receptions and the inside the 20s is all his.
Me versus Ryan, J.K. Dobbins.
Round 2. Fight.
There's a lot more emotion to J.K. Dobbins for me. I got him at 15. Ryan got him at 21. He's going to be really good. Just came off the pup, like we talked about on the news. We watched J.K. Dobbins return last year, and he was still injured. He was literally running on one leg, and he was breaking tackles and outrunning dudes. And the only reason he wasn't scoring touchdowns is because he was still hurt. Now, man, do you know if he's still going to be hurt or not? You don't. But he's talented. He's a good running back. Yes, this offense is going to be throwing the ball more, but it's still going to be a run first team. I do think that J.K. Dobbins is going to be the RB1 there. The only thing stopping him is injury. I mean, they went and signed Melvin Gordon, and they still got Gus Edwards. I mean, whenever they signed Melvin Gordon, I was like, oh, they're not going to get no one else. They're not getting a Zeke. They're not getting a Dalvin Cook. JK's got this role locked up. So.
All right. It's time, guys. Everyone's fan favorite. Let's play a game. Cap or fact? Yeah, boy, breaking it back out. Marlon Mack, that is last year, who was cut twice and didn't play a game till week 12, had the same amount of receptions as J.K. Dobbins had targets. Fact or cap?
Fact.
Fact. Yes, Marlon Mack had 8 receptions and J.K. Dobbins had 8 targets. All right, next question. Fact or cap? Since 2019, no running back for the Ravens had more rushing yards in a season than Lamar Jackson.
Fact.
Fact is right. I give you these 2 facts to show you that J.K. Dobbins' ceiling is capped. He doesn't have any pass catching upside. Lamar doesn't throw to running backs. The last 3 years, no running back has gotten the top 5 of targets for the Ravens. 2 of the last 3 years, no running backs had more than 30 targets. And the Ravens didn't draft Zay Flowers and sign Odell for $15 million to start throwing to running backs. And I do respect that. You're right. Melvin Gordon isn't that good. But Gus Edwards is pretty good. A guy who does average 5 yards a carry. And he's sharing the backfield with Lamar. So who knows who gets the most touches? I do hope it's Dobbins. I do have him at 21. We're still only 6 spots apart. But J.K. Dobbins is the guy who's complaining about the money. He's complaining about the contract. He was on PUP. Like you said, he just came off. The other guys have been practicing. I saw Melvin and Gus play in the preseason game. They're learning the new offense. They're ahead of the schedule. I just think that there's a chance that Gus Edwards gets the first shot playing the Texans, who I think the Ravens are going to kill. If Gus Edwards, dominates the first game, what's the point of giving J.K. Dobbins a big workload?